Having returned to Taiwan after the World Chinese Economic Summit in Malaysia, former President Ma Ying-jeou singled out China for what he called its attempts to slight him at the meeting. Following up on his earlier comments, Ma said that China's actions did nothing to improve cross-strait relations. In a rare display of unity, the presidential office came out in support of Ma, demanding an apology from event organizers.
After a tempestuous trip to Malaysia, Ma today flew back to Taiwan, where he spoke to the domestic media about his feelings on the World Chinese Economic Summit. He said having his title changed to former leader of Taiwan was a deliberate slight by China. This way of acting does absolutely nothing to benefit the improvement of cross-strait relations. In fact, it's an example of China harming others without benefiting itself. I was a former president attending what was basically a non-governmental event. China really doesn't need to make such a big deal out of these issues. Former President Ma laid the blame for the whole affair at the feet of Chinese officials in Malaysia, whom he said had obviously been given a reason to stir up trouble. DPP lawmakers, however, reminded Ma that he had insisted on going to the summit, despite warnings that China might attempt such a move. I think Ma should have known that this would happen. He should have been able to see it coming when his title was changed even before his trip. By the time he had arrived at the event, he was already on someone else's home turf, and he wouldn't have been able to do anything if they chose to change things around. Ma was invited as one of the summit's keynote speakers, but no conference materials mentioned his title as the former president of the Republic of China. Event organizers explained that Malaysia's free speech protections gave them a right to decide on the titles used to address attendees. Taiwan's presidential office, for its part, came out on the side of the country's former head of state. We believe that the treatment given to Taiwan's former head of state by the event's organizers was extremely inappropriate and extremely impolite. The presidential office demanded that the organizers of the summit issue an apology to Ma and the people of Taiwan, and called on all domestic politicians, regardless of their political views, to come out against attempts to belittle the country.